सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज.
The miseries of material existence and the most hopeless conditions of life is the best possible opportunity to turn to God.
You're listening to Bare Knuckle Bhakti Shorties on the Bhakti Recovery Podcast with Jiva G, coming at you every Monday with a little spiritual something. Hello, everyone. It's Monday. It is. And hello. Good gracious. It's actually a really beautiful Monday out here. Kind of cold, but it's sunny, which is something. I always start with a weather report, don't I? So this episode, my dears, of the Bare Knuckle Bhakti Shorties is going to be something that's very uncomfortable for me, but really highly necessary. So we've decided that the Bhakti Recovery Group is going to become a nonprofit. There are so many advantages of doing that. We get to organize more. We'd have a board. We can get grants and funding so that I can hold retreats for people who can't afford it and have funding for those people. Workshops and conventions, and also the book. You know, we need money to publish the book, and I'm still writing the book. And so in this age, these days, in order to evolve, we need financial support. I am totally giving everything that I can in time. I've made my own donations to my own having the Bhakti Recovery Group becoming a NPO, a nonprofit organization, and just asking as many people to give whatever you can. Like, instead of buying that Starbucks coffee, if you do that for $6 or $8, I don't even know what it costs these days. Please help us become a nonprofit, and support us any way you can. I'm going to put a link for the contribution for our fundraiser, and know that every single dime, penny, anything that's put into this fund will be exclusively used for the Bhakti Recovery Group, for its purpose, for the NPO, and all of that. And I'll keep you guys updated on each little step that I take. I'm completely transparent. The transparency will only go further when we are an NPO. So that's another reason. As you know, many other organizations such as AA or NA, they're also in their right to an NPO. And because specifically some of the traditions in AA and NA say that we don't affiliate with any outside, religions or anything else. We have to do our own. And that's why we're doing this. We are a Krishna-based 12-step Bhakti-based program. And we want to continue to offer the message with love and in service. And we can only do that through your help. So in the show notes, I'll post the link. I have heard that a couple of people have had some trouble donating. Not everyone, just 2 people actually, from all the people who have donated thus far. And one of them said that they just copied the link and put it in their browser, and then it worked. That it didn't work by just clicking. So if you have any troubles doing that, try that. Try just copy pasting it right directly into the browser. And if you have any trouble with that, just give me an email, and I'll redirect you. Anyway, so that's the push today, and I'm gonna probably mention that every Monday until this fundraising thing is over. I'm really encouraging you to do that. I would be so grateful. It would be so much help. It takes a village. That's what they say. It takes a village. And I see that, there's so much more work that I can do and so much more service I can offer. And I'm sort of bound by my financial situation as far as being able to do all that outreach. First of all, I can't do it alone. I can't do everything alone. And I can't be traveling out of my own pocket alone the whole time. I'm unfortunately not a millionaire. And nor do I wish to be. It just is what it is. So thank you so much for just even considering it, and every little bit helps. If you feel that the Bhakti Recovery Group, at least this, the meetings themselves or this podcast has helped you in some way, or you've related to it, or it's given you some sort of realization or whatever, of course it's for free, and I would never ask for money for this kind of work. But if you feel that you want to pay back in that way, I would be very grateful. So thanks again. Okay, so the awkward part is over. I'm going to just start doing the BKB shorty. Today, I really want to talk about diving into my own sadhana, and how it's been very challenging, and how I'm just sort of ready to go even deeper now and sort of go inward. I got off the phone with Kastuba today, and we've been talking a lot actually in the past couple of days, more than usual. And Kastuba, if you guys don't know who he is, he's definitely my teacher and my guide, and my guidance here in the Bhakti world, one of them. And he helps me realize a lot of stuff. And what I love about having somebody to be able to guide me through this, just like a sponsor would guide a sponsee through the 12 steps, having that person, I was finding it very difficult to find somebody to take shelter of. And let's talk about what that means. And I think taking shelter means something so different for each and every person. And being a recovering addict, being someone who is an adult child, being a codependent, there's a lot to navigate through that, with all those conditionings and all of that karmic reaction. There's a huge amount of layer peeling, of conditioning that goes with that. And the very first thing that's in my way is trust, and having some serious trust issues. And it's very hard for me to take shelter of someone I don't trust. And guess what? For many years of my whole life, I didn't trust anyone. And while that's still true today, it's gotten better. And while I spoke with him today, we really, really dug into some of that. And what I loved about speaking with him is that he's very frank with me, and I'm also very frank with him. He never takes offense, and I never mean to be offensive. I'm just a little rough around the edges. He knows that, and he accepts me for who I am. And it was very difficult to get to the point of saying, okay, I'd like to take shelter, because people disappoint. If we're in recovery, we grapple with trust. We have so many trust issues. And this is sort of like, if you look at this from a deeper point of view, if you get through all those layers of this whole trust issue, in the end, it's just not trusting Krishna, is what that is. It's lack of faith. Fear is lack of faith. Fear is lack of faith. Courage is fear that said its prayers. I'll say that again. Courage is fear that has said its prayers. And so Kastuba and I are speaking of how I can go more into the Bhakti world and not move away from the 12 steps, but take it and make it deeper. And that's something very attractive for me. he had said some very on point things that really spoke to me on a very deep level and had me thinking. So having the will or the want or the wish or the desire for me to take shelter has always been there. But what has always held me back was trust. And while I can say I trust God and I trust Krishna and I trust Krishna, actually, my actions say that I don't trust Krishna. Not that I would take shelter of anyone, but I was very discerning on with whom I take shelter. So this is sort of a growing thing, and I'm growing, and I'm really grateful for this opportunity. He had said something really profound to me, and I'm like a huge, I really love Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and I love, the stories around Mahaprabhu and that whole sort of Mayapur rasa, that whole mood. And I've been avoiding Vrindavan for a very long time. Not because I don't want to go, it's because I just don't feel qualified to go. And I'm actually terrified to go to Vrindavan. I'm terrified because I'm afraid to see it in the way that I shouldn't be seeing it, through my material eyes and my conditioning. I'm afraid I'm going to go there and get annoyed with the monkeys and the noise and the crowds and just get all frustrated, Kastuva called me like a wild horse. He said I'm a maverick, and he's right. He didn't say it to put me down. He just said it as a fact. And it's really nice to have those frank conversations. But that someone knows what my nature is, and has an inkling and gives two craps about helping me is a blessing. So I'm truly blessed in that. So what he had said was this: I'm going to Vrindavan with him in February, and with some others, fellow Sangha, Wisdom of the Sages and Bhakti Recovery Group Sanghas. And we are all going to Vrindavan together, a very, very small private group. And, we talked about it. I said, Kastuba, I really need to prepare myself for that. And then he started to explain to me how, we've known each other. I've known Kastuba since I'm 13 years old. Or 15, 13, no, 13. I think I was 13 or 14. And we lost touch for a while and got back in touch again here and there. But he's known me for a very long time, and he can definitely give a pretty good assessment. And that helps me a lot. And he said to me, Jiva, you spent so many years so doing such wonderful service in AA and doing your 12-step stuff and all of that. And I know that you're one of the most sincere devotees that I know. I don't know if he said that. I'd like to think he said that, but I don't know if he said those exact words. But he said that I'm very sincere, and that he sees how much I want to have that connection. But he also said that what he does see with me is that I've spent that many years having this faith and love, but in a faceless God. And that what I don't see is that God is a little blue cowherd boy. And that's what we're doing here. And it just really did something to me when he said that. because he was right. It's very hard for me to relate to those rasas and all of those leelas and those stories. And I had to think about that for a lot of days and go over that and just ask myself, am I even willing to think that? Am I willing to want to think that? I mean, hey, look, this is the Bhakti Recovery podcast, and we are the Bhakti Recovery Group. And, everybody, of course, has different, areas of attraction in bhakti. And that's why it's all so much there. But it really dawned on me that really, like, that whole, like, the whole 10th canto, the Krishna book, that I'm just not there yet. Understanding, and that's the thing. And I hear Radha Swami speaking about it a lot too. And everybody says they're not just stories. They're not just stories. And I see them for that still, that there are stories, and I understand the moral of the story. I understand what it's trying to say. I understand all of the messages and the beautiful things that they're said, but I still haven't been able to fully believe. I always say it's possible, but I haven't been able to fully believe and say, Krishna was a blue cowherd boy, and these are the things that happened for reals. Now, I had to sit on that. I had to sit on that because I really had to ask myself, am I a bad devotee now because of that? Are these the things that I should believe to be a devotee? Do I want to believe that? Am I going to believe that? And this is the wild horse mind. It's also an inquisitive mind, and also Kastuba mentioned, and I agree with him. Actually, it's a huge advantage in life to be a wild horse, but it's also pretty bad sometimes because it has a lot of bad consequences, and we just have to learn. We have to learn how to harness that. We have to learn how to put reins on them and let them run free too. So, I don't know if all of this made sense to you guys, but it's a really interesting time right now for me going inward. Trying to just keep my sadhana going and trying to do the nonprofit and writing the book and dealing with all like the PayPal stuff. This stuff is so challenging for me. It's not my world. But this is the service that's been given to me. This is where Krishna wants me to be. Again and again, no matter what, if I want to walk away from it, it doesn't work. It just keeps coming back. I didn't want to go semi-professional on all this. I didn't want to have to deal with this. I didn't want the responsibility. I really don't. I really didn't. It's not like I'm like, oh, great, I'm going to, have a nonprofit and have extra work all the time. I don't want that. But I know we have to have it. We need it. It is the next step for the Bhakti Recovery Group. It is the next step for me. It is the next step for all the devotees. It's the next step for anyone who wants to recover through this lens. It is the next step. If I don't take this step, then I'm just going to be constantly in this, like, we won't reach as many people, and we won't be able to support like I want to the people who are already who are already members of this beautiful Sangha that we have. We have such a close, beautiful, open Sangha. And I want to open it up and offer that beautiful Sangha to everybody who wants it. And I want to be able to offer retreats, and I want to be able to offer all of these things to anyone who would like to have it for free. But I have to be a nonprofit to do it. That's that in a nutshell. So again, please, if you can, please help us to become this nonprofit and help us to just move this forward, take it to the next level. I've got the blessings from Radha Swami. I've got the blessings from, I didn't get the direct blessings to make an NPO, but I got the blessings of the Bhakti Recovery Group from him, and the blessings from from everyone, actually. Satchidananda Swami, the blessings from Mahatma Prabhu, and blessings from Malati, and gosh, there's so many blessings that this group has, and the love of all of the members. So let's make this work, guys. All right. I hope you guys have a great Monday. Sorry for the late shorty, but it is still nonetheless a shorty. All right. Have a really great day. Love y'all. Haribol. Hare Krishna. Thanks for listening. I hope you liked the Monday Shorties. Don't forget to check out our full-length episodes on Thursdays. If you like what you heard, spread the word. Peace out.
सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज.
The miseries of material existence and the most hopeless conditions of life is the best possible opportunity to turn to God.